And Lawrence, you want to get the show started with a banger, I feel like, right out of the gate. There is a certain quarterback who is pretty much the darling of analytics eyes, like the kind of player they never stop talking about, even though he's never won anything or done anything. Which quarterback do you think is being overdrafted early in the offseason?
Yeah, well, Justin Herbert. I almost said Fields, but he's not being overdrafted. Justin Herbert right now with the underdog ADP going quarterback number 7. I don't really have a problem with that. It's just that if you wait a little longer, there's a Geno Smith, there's a Tua Tagovailoa. You like the running quarterbacks in fantasy? There's a Daniel Jones who, based on last season, you could get that same, if not better, production. All the quarterbacks I just named outproduced him last season, despite the fact that he was throwing the ball 41 times a game. That's not an exaggeration. Justin Herbert threw the ball 41 times per game. And I know he was hurt, right? He was hurt here and there. He had the ribs, the little rib injury there. But then if it's that bad, why are you throwing 41 times a game? Call him to draft him at quarterback 7. But if that's the case, I'm either drafting, the top dogs like the Josh Allens, the Patrick Mahomes, the Jalen Hurtses, or when I get to that spot of these milling quarterbacks, I'm just going to lag behind a little bit because a Daniel Jones and a Geno Smith and a Tua, they're not, as much of a name as a Justin Herbert. They don't have the same beautiful blonde curly locks that Justin Herbert has. So I almost said Gerbert when I meant to say Gerber because he looks like such a young man. You know what I'm saying? So I think Justin Herbert is going to be getting overdrafted based on that great rookie season that he had.
Yeah, Denny, what do you think of the idea that maybe Herbert hasn't tiered himself up? Because he basically gets put in the elite tier of quarterbacks in the NFL without having truly gotten there. In 2021, he did have the 38 touchdown season. He did have the monster fantasy season, I think over 5,000 yards. Major regression last year. As Lawrence said, he was hurt. The receiver core was really hurt. Of course, the core of that injured receiver core is still his most important pass catchers. They have added a first-round receiver in Quentin Johnston, a guy, though, who's known as maybe not always playing up to his size, despite being the big receiver in this draft class, and maybe someone who's going to have a bit of a learning curve. What do you think about Herbert's odds of getting back more to his 2021 play than his 2022 play?
I don't hate the odds, and I'll tell you why. It's going to sound funny. It's going to sound like this is a bit, but it's not a bit. Guys, Jalen Guyton is back.
Sure. Were you waiting for boos? Were you waiting for applause? You just said that, and neither one of us had any reaction whatsoever.
Yeah. Who? No, I mean,
I was reading my screen to see if the email came through saying that your termination can move.
Oh no, I get what I kind of see where he about to go with this. Continue.
He's the only fast receiver on the whole team. That's it. Quentin Johnston's not fast. Mike Williams definitely not fast. Keenan Allen, maybe the slowest starting receiver in the NFL. So, I mean, they will have someone presumably to run real fast downfield and maybe catch some balls from Justin Herbert. They also have a new offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore, who I'm hoping will be more creative, especially with play action, with using motion, pre-snap motion, and more aggressive throwing downfield. I'm going to tell you a stat that made me tear up a little the other day when I was doing some research for the draft magazine. Matt Ryan was the only quarterback in the league last year who had a lower air yards per attempt than Justin Herbert. I mean, and Justin Herbert can throw the football through a brick wall.
He can spin it, I believe,
per the analytics. So we're hoping that we get more downfield throwing. His adjusted yards per attempt plummeted last year. Also, his touchdown rate dropped significantly last year. But I guess that's what happens when you're just checking it down constantly. The hope is that he can get back to throwing it downfield more. But if he doesn't, he probably will be overdrafted. You're right, Lawrence.